Austin Dillon, the driver of the number 3 Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet, made it very clear that he is looking forward to the offseason and saying that it will be a reset and they need it after the abysmal season that they had this year. Just to see how terrible it was for Austin Dillon, you can see here he finished 29th. In the point standings, he only accumulated 545 points. He was 4,490 points behind the leader. He had 0 wins, only 7 top 10s, only 1 top 5, 0 poles, had 10 DNFs, only led 19 laps, had an average start of 20th, and actually had an average finish of 21.7. Kyle Busch, his teammate over there at Richard Childress Racing, finished 14th in the points. He was eliminated in the round of 16. He had 3 wins though, had 17 top 10s, 10 top 5s, 1 pole, but he had 6 DNFs, only led 241 laps, had an average start of 13.4 and an average finish of 15th. So the Richard Childress Racing cars did not do that well in 2023. Obviously, those 3 wins from Kyle Busch were highlights. They also had that they did pretty well in the Busch Clash before the season started. But let's listen to what Austin Dillon had to say here. This is before the championship race at Phoenix. He was speaking to reporter Peter Strada. So let's take a listen here.
Do you need the season to end now? That it's just, I mean, you're a racer, you want to race, and I don't want to misinterpret, but is it?
Oh, we need a reset button. There's no doubt about it. It's just we need a clean slate. The momentum has to start over, and the sport is so many ups and downs to.
So I don't think you can really have momentum starting over. You have to build that momentum first in order to keep it going, and it just doesn't magically start. But I get what he's saying there. As far as them needing the restart button, clearly they need it. We just showed the stats, so they do need that. Have the slate wiped clean, but hopefully, like you have to start off well at Daytona. And then moving forward, where do they go? Like usually Vegas or California is the second race, and have that strong West Coast swing out there and perform well. So you have to build off of that momentum, but you also have to keep it throughout the season, and then you also have to be ready for those for the playoffs too. But let's keep listening here.
Just have a fresh start next year with the points being even again and go at it. We're capable of running inside the top 10. We've proven that. We're capable of making it to the playoffs and winning races, and I feel like we should have a pretty big revival next year on our team. I think the one momentum killer was our penalty at Martinsville, and we tried to double down and make up some of those points, and I started getting in wrecks, and some things in my control, some things out of them, and we just had times where we just weren't any good. So the good thing having Kyle, he kind of righted the ship for our whole company this year and did a really good job. And I think we can learn some from that. And then this last couple races, we've done a good job of maybe giving him some information and some tracks to help. And that's what ultimately we talked about. Is like, hey, we've got to get both teams running together better.
There was a lot of it.
So it does seem pretty optimistic going forward. I'm not really sure if there is reason to be optimistic given the record and his performance. I guess he did do pretty well at Homestead, but overall, I mean, average finish of 21, that's not looking good. Even Kyle Busch back there, average finish of 15th. So there's a long road to hoe, but we have seen teams hoe that road. We've seen Brad Keselowski and RFK Racing really turn it around, become competitors. Both Chris Buescher was a top threat in the playoffs, made it to the final 8. So it is possible to turn the team around, and Richard Childress Racing has a legacy of doing that. They have a top competitor in Kyle Busch, so it's possible to do that. But we'll see what happens. Austin Dillon appears optimistic. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that there is as much optimism, but I'll believe it when I see it, right? But let me know what you think. Do you think that you're optimistic for Richard Childress Racing, Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch moving forward, and that they can really kind of maybe follow the path of RFK Racing and really improve their program? Or do you think they're going to be kind of settling in as this team that's middle of the pack, 15th, 21st average finishes?